So you're looking for a new laptop in 2026. Let me tell you, it can be a tough choice. The market is just packed with incredible options, but that also makes it, well, kind of overwhelming. So let's cut through the noise. We're going to break down this year's top contenders and help you find the perfect machine for you. Let's dive in. Feeling a bit lost in all the options? Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, it feels like the market is more crowded and competitive than ever before, right? It can make picking the right laptop feel like this monumental task. But don't you worry, we are going to break it all down. So what's driving all this change? Well, a huge part of it comes down to what's under the hood, the processor. And you got to start with the big one, Intel. Their latest Core Ultra chips, codenamed Panther Lake, are powering the vast majority of new Windows machines, and they're really pushing performance to whole new heights. But right on their heels, you've got AMD. Their Gorgon Point Ryzen AI processors are bringing some serious heat, especially when you start looking at integrated graphics and AI performance. They are not messing around. And then, of course, there's Apple. Their own in-house M5 series of chips, the M5, M5 Pro, and M5 Max, they just keep delivering this insane combo of raw power and incredible efficiency. It's completely changed the game. And hey, don't forget the rising star Qualcomm. With their Snapdragon Elite series, they are making this massive push for Windows on ARM. So think about the kind of power-efficient chips in your smartphone. Now imagine that kind of efficiency in your Windows laptop. We're talking crazy good battery life and always-on connectivity. The competition is just fierce. Okay, so with all that competition in mind, let's kick things off with the laptops that are going to be the best fit for, well, most people. These are the workhorses for your day-to-day, everything from work and school to just kicking back and watching a movie. So our top pick, the best all-around laptop you can buy, it's got to be the MacBook Air with that new M5 chip. What makes it so amazing is the balance it strikes. You get a super powerful 10-core CPU and GPU, and they've packed all of that into this design that has no fan. It's completely silent and weighs just 2.7 pounds. It's a real piece of engineering magic. So who should be buying this? Honestly, if you're doing a bit of everything, writing, maybe some photo editing, tons of browsing, this is pretty much your perfect daily driver. And the base model now starts with a very generous 16 gigs of RAM. The main drawbacks? Well, you do still have that notch up top on the display. And the starting price is a little higher than some of its rivals. What if you're a Windows user? Well, then you have to look at the Dell XPS 14. This is the top contender. And just look at that headline feature. Over 20 hours of battery life. That is not a typo. They pull that off with this clever display that automatically slows down its refresh rate when you're not doing anything, saving a ton of power. I mean, look, the XPS 14 is a gorgeous machine, no doubt. And Dell brought back the physical function row, which is a huge win for a lot of people. But, there are trade-offs. That keyboard has very little travel and no space between the keys. For some people, it's going to take some serious getting used to. And yeah, with a starting price of $1,600, it's a premium investment for sure. And this chart right here, it just says it all, doesn't it? Look, the MacBook Air has great battery life. It really does. But the Dell XPS 14, in that base setup, is playing a completely different game. If you were someone who was always on the move, always away from a power outlet, this chart tells you everything you need to know. Okay, so we've covered the best bets for most people, but what if you're not most people? What if you have really specific needs, like intense creative work, or you're a hardcore gamer, or you live on the road for business? For that, there are specialized machines built just for you. First up, we've got the 2-in-1 convertible. This is the ultimate hybrid, right? It gives you all the power of a laptop, but then you can flip the screen all the way around and use it like a tablet. It's awesome for artists, great if you're doing presentations, or, if you just love that flexibility. And when it comes to 2-in-1s, our top pick is the Lenovo Yoga 9i Aura Edition. And just like that review says, it is all about that OLED screen. It's the star of the whole show. It is absolutely stunning, which makes it a dream for any creative professional, or really anyone who just wants a beautiful display for watching movies. All right, let's talk about gaming. You want pure, unadulterated power? The Razer Blade 18 is an absolute monster. It packs the best of the best components money can buy. But the real game changer here is its unique dual-mode display. You can run it in a super sharp 4K high-res mode for immersive single-player games, or you can flip it to a lower resolution but get this absolutely blazing fast refresh rate for that competitive edge in esports. Yeah, of course, all that power, it comes with a price tag, And this one is, well, it's pretty eye-watering. The version we're looking at costs over $5,000, which puts this machine firmly in the dream laptop category for most of us. So, what about the business pros out there? Well, the king is still the king, the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon. It might not be the flashiest laptop on the block, but it's an icon for a reason. It's famous for being incredibly durable, super lightweight, and it has what a ton of people will tell you is the single best keyboard you can get on a laptop, period. All right, so we've looked at all these premium and top-of-the-line machines, but what if you don't have that kind of cash to splash? Well, the really great news is that you don't have to settle for a cheap-feeling plastic laptop anymore. Well, this brings us to maybe the biggest surprise of the year, the MacBook Neo. I know, right? Apple has actually jumped into the budget space with a machine that feels anything but cheap. It's got that classic premium aluminum build and a high-res screen that just blows away most of the competition in its price range. And this is the number that's turning heads. Starting at just $599, it's the most affordable MacBook ever. It's just a huge deal for getting people, especially students, into that Apple ecosystem. But how'd they get that price so low? By making some pretty smart trade-offs. So you get that amazing metal body and that really nice screen, but you lose the backlit keyboard and the USB ports aren't labeled, which is a little weird. It's really up to you to decide if those compromises are worth the savings. Whew, okay, we have covered a lot of ground. So before you go and click Add to Cart, let's just distill all this down into a simple checklist to help you make that final call. So let's just boil it down to 4 key things to keep in your back pocket. First, if you can, go to a store and actually try the keyboard. It's how you'll interact with it all day. Second, the screen. Seriously, don't settle for anything less than 1080p. Third, battery life. Be honest with yourself about how much you'll be on the go and aim for over 12 hours if you need portability. And finally, check if you can upgrade it later on. Adding more RAM or a bigger hard drive yourself can save you a ton of money. And there you have it, a guided tour of the best laptops of 2026. From budget-friendly champions to specialized beasts, the choices are honestly better than they have ever been. So now the only real question left is, what's going to be your next powerhouse?